Open this meeting of May 27, 2015. Let the record show all selectmen are present. We will begin with the approval of minutes for May 18th.
Make a motion to bring the minutes of May 18th to the floor for discussion.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of May 18th, 2015.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bring the minutes of May 21st, 2015 to the floor for discussion.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm looking for mine. I don't see them right here right now. I got them. I forgot to shut my phone off.
I picked up those tires on Pest House Road.
Thank you. They go to the dump?
Yeah, brought them down, either took them up and...
We did that on a Thursday, the employee evaluation forms?
Monday.
Oh.
This is the regular...
Minutes of May 18th. Workshop, employee evaluation forms.
Yeah, we're working on May 21st now. We've moved on.
Yep. We'll change that.
Got it? Thank you.
What did we move on to?
May 21st, didn't we?
Thursday.
May 21st, yep.
I'm probably just misunderstanding.
On page 2, at the top, where it talks about a guarantee from the landscaper, I think we should put what that was in there, just so we have a record of it in the minutes.
Catherine, can you pull your mic down, please?
No games.
Hello!
Okay.
So,
Competing.
What?
I think we should put in the actual guarantee. We asked about the guarantee from the landscaper. I think we should just put in our minutes what that is.
Did we have it?
I don't know.
I don't think we had it.
I think it's, I've been told a couple of things. I think it's,
For the plants, the plantings?
Yes, I think we should contact Chuck Mitchell and ask him for the warranty that we're getting with the plants, and then just put the warranty in there.
it should be in the documentation from Belknap
Joyce will have it
Landscaping.
tomorrow. And yeah.
We should get it right from that. Whatever happened with the no parking signs? Did anybody contact Arthur to get them put up, or?
For the 251 Main Street? I know that she was talking with Arthur and Dennis about it.
That would be a Joyce
So
thing.
Kurt, we're gonna correct that?
Sure, we can.
Yeah, we need to get him up.
Page 3, under Bitter and Lane,
Yep, I got a couple.
he discussed speaking with MB Tractor personnel who agreed the widening would accommodate their larger trucks. I missed that, so John Roque went to MB Tractor and spoke to them?
No.
I don't remember
No.
any discussion, because I was almost gonna ask him if he'd have been, but I don't necessarily hear every word that's
Didn't
said.
John say that Was that at the same meeting where he explained that they don't get too many deliveries?
Did he actually say he went to MB Tractor?
Yeah, because remember, Catherine,
he's-
then you had said something about, you had put your trailer, you came, that's when he started.
Because he said he seldomly gets that size trailer, you know, the big ones.
Oh, so he talked to him
But that
about...
was talking about the intersection.
No, he was talking about what kind of trailers come in and what size vehicles come in, and mostly it's the size,
With
it's
the
trailers that come
trailers
in,
on.
not trucks.
I thought that's when we were discussing the whole intersection. When I'm reading this, who agreed the widening, I'm thinking of, we've asked him to widen the road down throughout there, didn't we? That's what I took that to mean.
Right.
But when we were discussing, like when I brought up my trailer, it was when we were talking about the width at Route 311 and how he has softened
Yes.
that corner going in.
Right.
That's right.
So
So that the radius isn't as tough.
So the subject matter of MB Tractor, talking with MB Tractor should be further down in the discussion.
Well, and I think it's not clear, because I'm looking for the language where we talked about, as I just said, the widening at Route 3. So there's two different widenings. We talked about the two egresses. Maybe a little more detailed information that would make that clear.
I think the last sentence, the last paragraph, you have it in the first paragraph. You said, they will also, it was agreed the engineer would update the plans to include 6-foot wide pavement with striping, not granite curbing, pedestrian symbols, and resubmit a full design plan to the board. They will also contact the planning board to get on their agenda. And down at the bottom paragraph, you say, Paula asked for the driveway permit, John asked about the cost, Selectman Constantino noted she would like to see the updated plan with the sidewalk, then go up to look at where the lighting will go. I think we want to look at the lighting on the design, and also look at the drainage issue on the plans. So he's to come back with us with the updated plans, and then we'll go from there. But he was okay to go ahead and make plans with the planning board and get on their agenda. So this last sentence here, the last paragraph, really doesn't even need to be in there, except the fact that the plans will be updated and resubmitted. The developer will get on the planning board's agenda. Under page 4, under the park commissioners will be putting up new signs at Riverfront. Annie Yasharian could not make it tonight. She's coming next Thursday. Make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, one thing before we get into the selectmen's reports, or I can give it under mine. We were contacted today by the water company, and looking at the emails, there's a long thread of emails going back and forth from Rip Patton and Joyce and Conservation Commission on, last week we talked about the water to the park. We ran over some different options. Last Thursday, the water company contacted Chuck and Joyce last Friday. There is still an old lead, I guess you call it, an old pipe, an existing feed water pipe in Ernie's in the corner by the pole. They can extend it away into the corner and put, for all intents and purposes, a in-ground hydrant.
Yard hydrant.
Yard hydrant, which goes under the ground. It's a shut-off, and it doesn't freeze in the winter. The cost of the materials is around about $150. The Conservation Commission is going to pick up the cost of the parts. Water company is going to pick up the cost of the installation. It will be a metered water spigot, so they can water the flowers and plants and things, but they will do it as such. We have the trough out front. It's a flat fee for the year, quarterly. It's given out quarterly. He couldn't give me an exact price. He said around $60. So the emails were going back and forth, and everybody thought that the selectmen were all informed, and they weren't. So we need to approve it because they would really like to do it tomorrow. They've gone through Dig Safe and all of the necessary avenues, and they've got a crew wanting to go out there tomorrow.
I'll make the motion to allow the installation of the water
Yard
yard hydrant at former Ernie's site.
Second.
Any discussion?
Was there talk about the condition of the park when they start out and the condition of the park when they get finished? Because there's going to have to be some sort of digging.
It's in the area also that it's not finished yet, right?
Yeah, the water company will, that's common with them. When they dig it up, they'll put it back the way they found it.
Well, I already am aware of this. I'm just asking for the sake of those at home who might not be aware.
When they built their backhoe in Riverfront Park, the one thing that didn't make me quite so angry is they had saved all the little pieces of grass. They did, I have to admit. They put everything back. The only thing they didn't do is levitate the earth that they compacted. So I had to give them credit for that.
So they didn't put it back in the condition it was in.
With divots back.
It puts divots back.
So Catherine, they didn't put it back in the condition it was in.
We're beating it dead
No,
horse
they
here.
did not.
Yeah, right.
Thought this was
Okay.
going to be a short meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, can you go and call him and tell him it's a go? Gail. Okay,
But they have to do mine first.
all right, we'll start with John. Do you have anything for the selectmen tonight?
I was going to ask about the water.
Okay.
And we're all set with that. And that's all we got.
Okay. Go ahead. You're next.
I'm just going to go through new stuff.
Okay.
I had a conversation today with Officer Paquette, who was patrolling on his bicycle. He'd been down the trail and Main Street. And He talked about the need for markers along the trail in Tilton. So if somebody was hurt, they would be able to communicate to those trying to rescue them where they are on the trail. You know, if you're down there and you have a heart attack, you need help quickly. So if there was a marker, it would tell people, well, do we get to the trail from, you know, the Tilton side, the Ernie side, or do we get to the trail from Super 8 side? And where exactly are they on the trail? And I thought it was a good idea.
So do you
It
do,
was an excellent idea.
do you do the same for Buffalo Park? You got trails in there.
Not a bad idea, although we were supposed to put signage in Buffalo Park. I don't think we've done that yet, have we?
Well, all that says is which trail you're on. It doesn't say how far in.
Yeah, but I think it's a good idea wherever we have trails like that to have, especially, I mean.
What kind of signage would you do, though? Like a
He
mile
would
marker
say-
or something?
He suggested putting whatever, but having a T so you know it's Tilton. So if we go by yards or,
No, you go by tenths
Quarter
of a-
miles or tenths of a mile?
Tenths or quarter miles.
Yeah.
One
then
thing,
it would be T, whatever.
we do have, along the railroad tracks, we have the chain link fence, so something could be put onto the fence or right onto the post, could be marked, you know, how many miles or
Something
more.
visible.
Well, you go up on the National Forest, they'll do a post, they'll paint brown and with a, like a,
But here's the thing. Which end do you start in? Does the trail go
This
west?
way?
Or does it go
Right.
east?
Well,
well, how do you number roads?
If you're in T4, then it's T4.
But where do you start?
The state starts their roads at the Massachusetts border.
That's north-south. What about the east-west?
Zero.
What
I think
about
they
your
start at
east-west?
Vermont, don't they? Zero is Vermont? I mean, I would have started zero on the coast, but,
Right. Well, if that's the
you know,
case, you
Maine, how
start
that
this
is.
then. The way life should be. And start it on this end.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I don't think it's real cost-effective. I mean, it's just a
no,
little
I
sign.
don't think so.
Yeah, it could probably be marked, like you said, right on the posts for the chain link fence.
Can't you
put
get the
numbers
prison
on
to
them.
do those signs?
Well, you just want to make sure you don't get something that's going to get taken or knocked
Metal.
over or
You
hit by
bolt them
bikes.
on, and then you hammer the edge of the bolt so you can't undo it.
Do a wood post.
No, they've been taken.
I'll talk more with
We had
Officer
we had
Paquette.
Scout Explorer do a reading trail all along the way, and some of the
was very
kiosks
nice.
have been taken.
Thrown in the river is my guess. Then they're gonna walk out of there with a kiosk.
You know, a stencil and some bright orange spray paint right on the chain link fence post would... Free.
The other issue I have is, if you look at Tim's report, you'll see an explanation of what happened with the officers assisting with chippers when they were doing the tree work for the town in the Civil War monument. It became a mess. It amazes me. About 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, the Board of Selectmen, I don't know if it was through a motion, a consensus, but we all agreed that all billing, all finance, all invoicing needs to go through the finance office first. That the PD is still doing, they're collecting monies and billing, and they get invoices there. An invoice came in there in April that had to be delivered by June 1st. Or there were real extenuating circumstances, so there was a real rush to get that check yesterday and get it delivered to where it needed to go, because so much time had gone by. Because that invoice didn't come to the finance office, it went to the PD and hung around out there. I had a conversation with Tim to see, you know, what he thought about it and how he would structure it. He has some ideas that he'd like to implement. One, for example, at the PD, they enter the officer's time into a system that we don't even use. That it doesn't go anywhere, it just gets entered into this system because that's what they've always done. So, for example, it would be helpful to Tim, our finance officer, if they were actually entering that time into the system we are currently using, and then he would get it electronically, and he would check to make sure that it's correct, so it would be double-checked. That would save him time, it would be efficient. So those are just some examples of how we could be much more efficient, rather than having people
Redundancy.
doing things that are redundant or repetitive.
I have a whole list of things I'm going to present in June.
Well, I don't want to wait until June,
These are
because
some of those.
I sure as heck don't want this to take place again. It cost us money.
It's
It's,
not the first time this stuff has happened, which is why
and
it's over.
I think we should,
I think we should send a directive to the chief and ask them to send all payables to the finance department.
and I think that we should
Bill
allow
directly
Tim
us,
to work
right?
with not just the police department, but with Public Works, so
Right.
that we're working much more efficiently. You know, he would be the head, and, you know, telling the body and arms what to do.
Well, the
Yeah.
money part.
All bills should be sent to one central place.
I
All
think so.
invoices, charge cards,
And they
anything.
all should go. Right now, some bills, although that was a conversation that we had for many years, that they come into town hall, they should go to the finance department. However, they get stopped off at the town administrator's office, and then sometimes they didn't get to the finance department for a little bit. That's somewhat corrected, but there's still some lingering out there, particularly highway, that goes into Joyce first, and then it goes to finance.
All bills should go to finance.
I believe all
All
bills
bills,
should
he
go.
runs them right through his little scanner, and he can pass it along in 15 seconds.
Should
Yep.
we make that as a directive?
Yes.
Beginning
I think we should.
immediately?
I think we should make it as a directive. I think we need to include in there to give Tim, you know, some wiggle room so he can shape
it up.
these things, like I described to you with the payroll. That would be a great benefit.
Right. I
What do you
it
think,
would be-
Peter?
Sounds good.
So, do you want to put that in the form of a motion
I
to send a
think so.
directive? or
Yeah,
do
if
you
it's
wanna-
going to be official, then let's make it
You want to do
official.
highway, police, all town?
Make a motion that all billing for any department in the town of Tilton be sent directly to the finance officer before it is sent to the appropriate department.
Can we include, instead of just billing, can we say something like all financial documents, billing,
Yeah,
invoicing,
because sometimes it's a contract.
Contract.
Yeah.
And so-
Okay,
billing, invoicing?
All financial
Payroll.
documents.
And should we add that they be addressed to, not just sent to, so they,
Yes, all of those purveyors that the departments use need to change those addresses, and if they don't, then Tim should be changing them as he receives them from those departments.
okay, all that stuff.
So all billing such as financial documents, any financial documents, invoices, payables,
And to edit it to, and to further allow the Tilton Finance Officer to,
I think one person should make this
oversee,
motion.
yeah,
Or
oversee
we
what
should,
the
or either that, or-
financial
keep it
affairs.
separate? And go vote on Joe's, I'll second Joe, and then we can
Make a second motion, okay.
I'll second Joe's motion.
yeah, all of that stuff. And
So
could you
let's
read
be
that
clear-
back? What are we
Yeah.
voting on exactly?
right, exactly. What,
All billing for any department, including documents, billings, invoices, financial documents, be directed to the financial officer.
be sent and addressed directly to finance department for direct, we want to say that, do you want to say just to have
Sure.
better control?
I don't think we have to put in the reason. It is what it is. All bills go to the finance officer.
All right. Are we satisfied
All
with that?
financial papers.
It's one I'm seconding.
All right, so we have a motion and we have a second. Discussion? You all set
Call the
with that?
question?
All right, all those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
While you're on that same subject, he wants a motion.
Yep, I saw that. But before we go there, I'd like to continue with our thought process and offer a motion to allow Tim to, I don't know, what do we say? Not expand, but shape?
Shape what? The details?
No, I want him to be able to go into the police department and take their administrator and stop her from doing functions that are non-purposeful.
So we're going to go in and read the...
Awfully vague.
Well,
And that we would do the same thing with Public Works, that instead of her entering payroll into a system that's defunct,
So,
she'd be entering, he would show her how to enter it into, what do we use, MuniSmart?
As the IT director, he has the authority
in the payroll.
from, if we give it to him, to make changes as needed.
yeah, but he
that we
doesn't have the
direct.
authority to tell someone to do it.
Right, he doesn't have the
He has the
authority to go
authority
in
to
and-
make-
We can give him that authority.
Right,
can't
exactly.
we?
That's what she's looking for,
That's
the
what I'm
wording
trying,
to...
looking for words to do.
do it.
But Tim,
the
to
wording
set the
to do it.
structure and the procedures for
Future procedures in
Financial matters?
financial matters.
What he said.
Did you get that?
Set the structure and procedure.
For financial
Procedures
matters.
For financial matters.
In all departments.
Better mention payroll.
Including payroll. Okay, that's my motion. Thank you.
I'll second it.
A motion's made and seconded.
How casual.
Any discussion? I told you we're moving right along. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes.
Aye. Okay, so with that, we have a Chippers bill that Chippers was working for the town of Tilton. When they work for the town of Tilton, it's really not a detail. It should be overtime, not detail money, but nonetheless, the bill got really screwed up. Very.
Yes, it did.
And so-
Direct fault, just black.
Wait, just make a motion that we credit the invoice, thereby canceling the pass-through invoicing to the town. I'm making a motion to credit invoice number 39 for $520.
Second.
Credit it from where to where? From who?
From Chippers to the town of Tilton.
Okay.
That's on the back here.
Chippers to the town of Tilton.
Right.
Second.
I'm sorry, it's just the opposite. It's town of Tilton to Chippers.
No,
No.
I am.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They paid us.
Motion crediting police detail invoice number 39 for $520.
So, we doing discussion? So basically what we're doing is we're crediting the detail account as opposed to having Chippers put the money in detail account.
They paid
Too much.
too much.
Chippers did?
Yes.
Oh, so we're going to issue money back out from the detail account?
Now, what happened is Chippers sent a bill, and they itemized it because they weren't supposed to be paying any detail, but they got billed for detail. So on their invoice that the park commissioners reviewed, it was $440,
Sounds right.
which is the school rate. Of course, it should have been, the town would have just absorbed the overtime pay. So, Tim paid them just for the tree work and then called them to communicate, there'd been an error in the detail, et cetera, and that they should not worry about invoicing it, that we would just show it as a credit, and they would not owe for that, and we'd just work it out ourselves. So in the meantime, with him trying to contact them, they sent a check yesterday for $520, which is the full detail rate. I have no explanation as to why that took place. So now Tim, in order to fix this, is,
Invoicing them for the difference?
I don't think anything is going out to them. I think he's
It's just gonna be a credit.
notifying them. It's just a matter of making our accounts balanced. So we will basically credit the invoice, and I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, to me, I would have
No.
voided the invoice, but I guess you can't do that in municipal finances.
Right.
So did we pay out the officers as a detail?
We pay the officers the detail rate.
So how does that get credited since it's not on the
It
regular
doesn't.
payroll?
It depends on how they got called in for the detail. So if they
That's right.
got called in a detail, we have to pay them for the detail. So if it's an error on the corporals or the captains saying that there's a detail with chippers, oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't a detail because it was for the town, that's an error. That wouldn't be on the officer, we wouldn't take that money away. Contractually, we couldn't do it.
Should we be taking on paper money out of the town's operating account, putting it into the detail fund to cover for that?
I don't
So that the-
don't think so, because it
so that
wasn't a
we
true
have-
detail. It was a mistake.
No, because detail money is an estimate. So they estimate how much you'll be receiving on estimates, on how many details come in the year before. So it's not a projected figure amount that's,
Or I
okay,
was
this
thinking
is set in
is to
stone.
an actual received amount. Should we credit that account to that actual received amount?
No,
Was
because
actually
nobody's
earned.
actually going to pay us
Right,
for a detail.
right, because nobody. it was
Chippers
We
is-
don't like pay ourselves by
No,
sliding the number
no.
from one account to the other?
No.
No,
'Cause it's a
Chippers is
separate-
going to get a,
no, the officer would have
I was
just
thinking
gotten
for-
overtime, and that was it.
Yeah, it was just on our accounting itself so that we do have
Right.
accurate funds
Instead of
in there
the,
to do our purchases with.
right, instead of the $41 of detail money an hour, they would have gotten an overtime, depending on how many years of service, maybe $30 an hour.
Okay.
And that would have made the difference.
I'm sure Tim will
Yeah.
he'll sort it
Oh,
out.
he's on top of it, let me tell you.
he's going to have a paragraph for an explanation for this one.
Okay, all those in favor?
Under
Okay.
conversation here, are there any other instances of police details used by the town where this would apply? There's an agreement between the chief and Selectman Dawson. And I understand the conversation, but is that part of our policy?
Whenever the police perform, let's call it, detail work for the town of Tilton, they are paid an overtime rate.
Right.
Parade duty.
Old
There's
Home
an
Day.
example.
Old Home Day, yeah.
Parade.
The
duty.
Christmas
Okay.
parade,
Yeah,
Christmas parade,
Sewer Commission.
no,
sewer commission.
sewer commission, that's the
Okay,
town of
That's the
Tilton.
town, yeah.
cool.
Um,
But not water.
But not what?
Water,
No,
That's not the
district.
town of Tilton.
right. We give them do we give them the school rate?
They get the school rate, just
Yeah.
like the Lockmer Water District, we
Right.
get the school rate, and Pennachuck will get the school rate.
I
Right.
get it.
The school gets the school rate.
All set?
I am.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. What's next?
I'm all set, the rest is old news.
All right. For those of you that were not around, and for those that are on the camera, although we have such a wonderful community that we live in, we have some that are not so nice in the community, and our furniture at the senior center was stolen, along with our gas grill was attempted to be stolen, but somebody must have scared them off, but it was damaged beyond repair. So, word got out yesterday that the patio furniture was stolen and the gas grill was broken. Lowe's came forward and donated a gas grill. Thank you, Lowe's. Jim Regan from the Masiello Group and Home Depot, together, they came up with a 6-chair patio set. I think I've got a picture here if you want to see it.
Go show it to the camera.
Scumbags did it. You know who did it, scumbags.
Do we have cameras?
I'll tell you some,
do
Not
now.
outside.
The
I'll
one
tell
outside
you,
wasn't-
scumbags, that's the set that we got.
Oh, we don't have a picture of the set that we
That
have,
scumbags have?
that the scumbags have.
Yep.
And we should mark our stuff with some kind of a mark.
Well,
You gotta find it, if it leaves town and all.
Yeah, but if we did find it, how do we prove it was ours?
well,
These are your cameras.
Pictures of it.
our,
We have them.
No, I know.
our security system is now installed. Thank you, Al LaPlante.
Yay, Al.
No, he does an awful lot for the town that
I
a
know he
lot of
does.
people do not realize. But he's awesome. So, yes, that is. Old Home Day Citizen of the Year, it hasn't been officially voted on yet by the Old
We
Home
haven't
Day
voted for
Committee.
'em?
So, we're still waiting, but while they're waiting, there has to be a write-up for the Citizen of the Year that we're recommending. So, will someone like to choose to do that write-up with Joyce?
Well, I don't really know him that well.
I know you're going to ask me, I know that.
I would say that you probably know this person as well as anybody at this table, I'm guessing.
Do you know?
Regardless.
I only did that because I think there's a couple more deserving people.
There's a number of deserving people, but unfortunately, we can only pick one.
How about if we, I will try, I'm going to be out of town, and I'll be back in time for the party, but I will try to write something up. If I can, I'll ask Sandy to do it. That would be a good one, huh?
There you go, that would work.
You want to do that? All right. Between Sandy and Joyce, they should be able to come up with something.
And they can ask around if they need to plump it up a little bit. I know how some people like plump dedications.
I thought it was going to be a roast.
But we can add to that.
I'm all over that.
I'll help out with the roast. But
All right. Okey-doke. That's it for me, Joseph.
Today at the LGC, there was a meeting of the cooperative, the Solid Waste Cooperative, to award the contract for the final closing of the ash landfill. The work at closure in Phase 1 has been done by R.D. Edmonds, and that consisted of setting drainage pipes for the leachate system and piling the trash and putting on the liner and all that. This next part is grassing and seeding and the final parts. And the bid, and let me see if I've got it here, get ready for this, is $1,579,360, which was the lowest bid. That was made by Casella Construction Company. Now, the next bid was by R.D. Evans, and it was for $7,000 more. The Casella Construction Company is the same name but separate from the waste hauling part of this. And the references were checked, and they got nothing but sterling reviews. They have no violations with the Department of Environmental Services or any other entity. And so, to save $7,000, which, I don't know, I was a little bit leery, but as far as I could tell, R.D. Edmonds had never failed to perform. They've got a construction place right next door, where they have a sand pit and gravel and loam and what have you. And Casella seems to think they can buy the stuff from Edmonds and sell it to the co-op cheaper than Edmonds can. So, based on that, we voted, it was unanimous to award that contract for $1,579,000. And they're going to start like post haste, so the ash landfill is being sealed off. We received a check today for $53,633. This was the second phase of the payout from the ash credit. We're the only ones who ended up with less of the ash credit than we were anticipated to, but those numbers were before we actually got the pay-as-you-throw. So because our MSW went down so far, and partly it's based on the tonnage we bring, we were down 11%. That information is in the FYI. But we have, and I had said that it was $104,000. But just like reading a map, I didn't really read the map, and what I did was I added Phase 1 and Phase 2 together, and Phase 2, which is the one we received, was for the $53,000. There's an auction going on tomorrow for land that the co-op owns in Canterbury. There's two, like, little patches of ground which aren't that spendy, but there's a 2.5 acre plot right on a corner, which that'll go into our assets. And once we know that we have the money, that we need to close it, and because the bid came in $100,000 over the original estimates. So we have to get that money somewhere. There's going to be in excess of $1 million that will be dispersed to the co-op members based on the tonnage that they've brought to the incinerator.
Do you know, when we were talked into this agreement, it was said to us downstairs, and I asked the question 3 or 4 times, the money we pay in is the money we will get back. But because we've reduced our tonnage, we're losing money.
This ash credit is
We are losing big money.
based on the ashes that we bring to the ash landfill and the ashes that Wheelabrator brought to the landfill to finish filling it up. We got credits, again, according to how much trash we actually brought to the incinerator.
But is it over the entire life, or is it over like the last year or two?
This is over the last year,
Well, that's where
2014.
did we get credits in previous years?
We got one other payment for $51,079.
They estimated us 117,000
17 total.
total.
This is a bonus above and beyond anything else. It's sort of like
We will lose money.
we've lost nothing.
We will lose money
We
in
would
the
have gotten
end.
no money whatsoever
We will
without
lose
signing
money in the
agreement.
end.
So how did we lose anything? We got $104,000.
The money we paid in is not the money we will get back.
That's not the ash, that's not, got nothing to do with the ash credit.
Our
Now,
portion of the ash credit is reduced because our tonnage is reduced.
that's correct, but
So
we
we're
didn't
being
pay,
penalized.
we didn't pay in.
Did anyone else?
No. This money
Okay.
comes from Wheelabrator.
Our portion of the money for the ash credit went down because we reduced our tonnage, so we're being punished for reducing our tonnage.
We're gonna get punished by receiving $104,000. I'm okay with that. Punish me, send me a check for 104 grand. Be that as it may. The other, it seems like there was, the money that we paid in, will be out of the $1 million. We paid it in according to tonnage, we'll get it back according to tonnage. And the only other thing that I have is, once again, May 31st, Sunday, 11 a.m. at the high school, the Walk for Addiction Awareness, $10 suggested donation, and get there a little bit early if you haven't given your money to somebody, because there's going to be hundreds of people, and we want to see everybody come out. That's it.
What about the pancake breakfast?
I don't know the details. I'm hoping Peter will give the details of that.
I have a conflict.
No, you have the information.
Saturday morning, Applebee's, I believe it's 8 to 10, a flapjack breakfast, Applebee's, $10 donation. The proceeds will go to the South Tilton Fog Scholarship Fund that goes to FFA students. Tomorrow night, FFA is going to do, at their awards, this year they're going to do 2 students that are going to get $500 each.
Nice. Very nice.
That's it for me.
500.
It's in the email, but I wasn't sure.
Someone's
Is that you, Joe?
vibrating.
Check your email. Yeah,
Okay, we have in front of us the, another resume for the Highway Department. I'm going to suggest that we cut this off now.
Did we give a deadline?
We did not give a deadline, but we've not given a deadline prior to. We haven't gotten any after this, correct? And we've made a decision to interview
Right.
already, so they've gone ahead and interviewed.
Does that mean we're
They
going to...
have this name, by the way.
Okay, so we're not going to exclude this person
No,
just because they're late?
No, they have this,
Because, good Lord.
I know. They, am I correct, Gail? They have this information? But I would make a motion that we close off the applications for the highway foreman's position and go with the interviews that we're going forward with
As of today's date and this time?
as of today's date and this time.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have an updated performance evaluation. Once we approve it, then we can go over who's going to do whose evaluation this year.
How do you quantify generally uses correct grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure? Shouldn't that just be uses? And then you're rating on how well they use it, or?
I like that. It makes me chuckle every time I read it.
What generally,
Makes you
So
wonder,
let's strike
What do they
generally.
do?
Screw up and I'll still be
what do
good.
they do the other times?
So take out generally.
Let's take out generally.
Oh, come on. It's one of my
Page
best
2.
chuckles.
Under communication, the black,
sometimes...
just generally and capitalize the U for you.
Stuff slips out.
No. Good thing you know we don't work for the town.
Should we leave out in interpersonal skills, examples may include? Because I think that goes
Where are
with
you at?
Three.
on page 3, I think that goes with the sentence we left out.
I was just looking at that.
The examples, because
Yeah.
you struck that out.
Yeah, but this is now the body of it.
Is this moving up top?
The blue stuff down below moves up top, correct?
Blue is the additions.
But is it going where it's listed, or does it?
It
Goes at the top.
will go at the top once the strike out was deleted.
Right, so these, under examples may include,
Where it belongs
it's
in
going
the
to
first
be
place.
ability to establish and maintain effective working relationship with employee, officials, and the public, promotes cooperation and team spirit in coworkers, and dependable and versatile.
So we had this
Examples may
before?
include goes with the sentence, has a genuine interest in and a desire to assist and participate with others, members of the public, peers, or supervisors. Examples may include treating people in a manner that shows sensitivity to their needs. I mean, I don't think it needs to be examples may include. I think these are all examples of interpersonal skills.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
almost redundant, you see what I mean?
So leave the top sentence in, has a genuine interest in and a desire to assist and participate with others?
No, leave that out, take out examples may include.
Okay.
And then,
Start the whole
I see
thing
what
with
you're saying.
treating.
yeah, treating people in a manner, what are interpersonal skills? Treating people in a manner that shows sensitivity to their needs.
I got you. Got that, Gail? Take out examples may include.
Okay?
That's it.
Everything under these headings are examples of them.
Consistently meets deadlines, that's going to hurt somebody.
I just... Wow.
Maybe a few.
It is what it is.
So how come on some we have just examples and others we have a lead-in?
I don't think
It's
we
like
should...
written communications examples.
Yeah, I don't think we
Communication, we have a lead-in. Interpersonal has a lead-in.
think
Planning and
that-
organization has examples.
Some do, some
I
don't.
think the examples should be gone because it's redundant. Everything under those headings should be examples of the heading. Otherwise, they belong somewhere else.
Yeah, but what are the criteria for the interpersonal skills? It lists the criteria. You
Right,
can
the
just put,
examples.
They do a
Let's-
good job. And either they do or they don't, but what do you base that on?
So is this an all-inclusive list and you
That's
can't
just
deviate?
examples of it.
But it didn't say example, we've struck the examples.
Well,
Well, that was just to be consistent. We don't have that in all of them.
Right.
Either put it in all of them or take it out of all of them.
so we'll just take it out of all of them. I want to leave the examples.
You know, before you got here tonight, I said, this is going to be simple, easy. We're going to fly through this,
We'll change it next year, too.
you know.
Hey, let's
One
fly.
thing that,
Let's fly.
on planning and organizations is consistently meets deadlines, and then I'm looking at written communication. Somewhere in between those two, shouldn't it be accurately?
You'd hope they were accurate, wouldn't you?
Effectively schedules, plans, and organizes use of time in order to complete work assignments accurately and projects efficiently, consistently, meets deadlines. Complete work assignments accurately.
Or if you put on a written communication accurately?
So when I do oral, I don't have to be accurate, I just have to report timely?
See, whatever you want, we don't listen.
I knew it.
No, that's what
Here we go, man.
generally uses effective
Do you see what I'm
language.
saying? There's nothing for
He's not playing the devil's advocate, he is the devil's advocate.
No, the
I don't
devil.
want anybody to make assumptions.
Get the horns trimmed a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where we could insert that somewhere in the, I think that's,
Somewhere accurately should be put under planning and organization, I believe.
or written.
So in order to accurately complete work assignments.
Or do you list it under your dimensions on the first page? You know,
Come on.
superior is always accurate.
Or
That would work.
Under written
And that way,
communication is
since
able
that-
to prepare accurate, required,
It's everything.
or prepare required routine reports, and documents accurately with minimal supervision.
Yeah.
So right after documents, I'm looking at
Accurately.
written communications, page 2,
I would say,
one,
yeah.
right after
Yeah,
documents.
I agree with that. So, is there anything else we won't have accurate?
Accurately and,
Well, I like Peter's suggestion. Peter said under the definitions of dimension ratings in the first, under superior, put in accurately.
Always accurate.
And that covers everything, always accurate.
So exemplary, you don't have to be accurate?
Well, you start...
Confident, you don't have to be
Yeah, you can, well...
You're above adequate.
I think they should be, achieve
Well, you-
accuracy
can
above
do-
need, it's
Well,
improvement.
you can do the accurate under competent and above also.
I think we're getting too picky. My personal belief.
I think we can comment on,
Pick something and let's move on.
I think we can,
under written communications, if we put
Get off page 2.
on page 2, after document, they put accurately and with minimal supervision. Then that way we can comment,
But what are you going to do for oral?
Well, I don't have to speak orally, accurately.
Yeah, you have to speak, it doesn't have to be accurate.
No, it does have to be accurate.
But if they
not
don't,
if you-
okay, so here's the thing. In any of these, if they're not accurate, would you not write them down in the
Sure.
little box saying,
Yeah,
report's not accurate,
sure.
oral communication is not accurate?
that would be one of the things that I would put down in a
Yeah.
comment.
So, I think as long as it's in here somewhere, it was
That's-
trigger oh yeah, accuracy.
Under 6-7 initiative, I think the S with ideas needs to get the space removed.
I'm sorry.
The 6-7 initiative, look on your first sentence, ideas.
Yep.
You got an extra space.
Thank you.
No problem.
We have works independently with little direction, under initiative. So that really covers that under,
And accurately?
just the word accuracy.
That's the first thing that comes to mind, right?
well, you really can't say works independently, works accurately independently with a little direction, because
Where's that?
independently is,
Which page you
I
want?
think
Six.
we've beaten up accuracy enough.
I think so,
Well, it's the issue at the east end of the table, I think.
So
I
it's,
think it's good where John first said, it makes sense, documents should be accurate.
Right.
And reports
But
should be
I don't have
accurate.
to talk it.
You guys have, well, two of you have experienced what happens when they're not.
accurately and with minimal supervision.
Yeah, so if we just add accuracy where John
You can
suggested
change it next year.
after documents, I think that's enough.
you got that, Gail?
What page was that?
Page-
Second,
Yep.
Go ahead, John, tell her.
Okay, so after documents,
yep,
under written communication,
Yes,
routine reports documents accurately with minimal supervision.
And with minimal supervision.
What's the protective
All right.
equipment for town?
page 3, all set? Page 4,
5,
5,
Gloves for cleaning.
6,
They don't clean.
7,
They haven't closed for
8,
clean. They do that.
9, 10. Attendance.
On number 9, how come that the overall performance summary is all scratched out?
On which one?
On number 9.
New 9 or old 9?
Well, the current 9.
Oh,
Which is becoming
we're not
8?
there yet. No, she's on another page.
Page 6?
No,
Page 9.
I'm looking at 9.
she's on part 4, overall performance.
Wouldn't we just change those headings to
That's
match
11.
the documents? Which we do have written
You
communications.
scratched them, you took that whole part out, the top.
Oh, because you decided to go with the definitions of dimension rating instead of the numbered rating.
Right.
Is that definitions of dementia?
But this is more like an index.
That is, so number 1 is written communications.
Right.
And what did we give them? An
Right,
S?
so that needs to be left in.
Okay.
Because you would say, under 1, written communications, what was the rating we gave them?
Okay.
How about
Yes.
And then you would put,
This is a
Right.
tally sheet.
this is it, right, this is the tally, right.
Can we make it accurate written? Accurate all?
You know, it
Is
just needs,
anybody gonna evaluate us? That's what I want to know.
I think they should.
ballot box.
it just
That's
needs to
right.
correspond
vote.
with,
That's your
I
evaluation.
think they should all
And how
do it
many voters this
anonymously.
year?
I should
What
think we should
percent?
let the employees evaluate the selectmen.
That would be
Anonymously,
interesting.
it would be,
Let them draw straws.
or as a group, just,
I once did that with my employees.
Have 5 short
Oh,
straws.
don't do that, don't do that, because I'll end up with
And I
him.
look at it all
And that
the
would not
time.
be-
It was
that would be
very
no, just
odd.
We just take yours out.
Objective.
put them all in a box,
He was
and they
scared to
all
give it
draw
to me,
one.
and It's like, Lord,
Hey, I'm for that, that's feedback.
evaluate me.
I think that they should all do
More from
us.
that.
If it's an
Equally.
honest evaluation, sure.
Yep.
What do you think?
We have a
Think
much
the
better
employees,
document than we had last year.
employees should
Yeah,
just
like-
draw out of the hat as selectmen to evaluate?
Oh, better yet, let Dennis
So waste
evaluate
of their
me.
time.
What did you say?
Dennis, evaluate me.
You do a very thorough job.
I'm sure.
Actually, you do a good job.
Accurately.
Yeah.
And thorough job.
Okay, so everybody's okay with the corrections we made?
Yep.
So Gail's gonna do this? Okay, so, all right. Here we go. Get it, you got your pencil ready? So who's going to do town administrator? Town administrator, going once.
I can do any of these.
Town administrator.
I'll do it.
All right. Catherine. All right.
I've never done one.
Finance,
I'll do finance.
Joe. Land use,
Let me. Anybody, do you want it?
Well, I don't work, I don't come in during the day and spend day-to-day time with any of
It
the
should be Catherine or
workers.
I.
So it's really
Because
difficult
Catherine's
for
the
me.
planning board, and I'm the town hall liaison, and we're around him more than anybody. Catherine's been working with his product now for some time. I think.
you've worked with enough people here to know them and their work,
Yep, Peter has.
no?
No, it's more flybys. Most of the time I'm in here, they're,
Pat, last year I had to do it because I was new coming
When
onto
they
the
did.
Board of Selectmen, so Peter's the new one coming to the Board of Selectmen, so he automatically does them all, right?
when are these due, for starters?
Next week.
That's good, because this is my crunch time of the year.
Yeah, that's why.
That's fine.
No.
We usually don't have them done until
SSSS, all
August.
this is-
Yeah.
No, we want to do them in June.
But
They're due July
They're
1st.
due July 1st. We want to get them done by the
For
second,
4 years, we haven't had them all done by July 1st.
so we want to get them done by the third week in June, right?
I'd say the
Just-
second week of June.
and-
Second week, because then we have to process and meet with
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah.
And you're in my crunch time. I got senior finals next week. The end of the following week starts the end of class.
I told them they'll just have to wait a week.
I
So
know.
land uses, both, land uses,
I'll do Dari.
all right, Dari. what about, do you want to have Joyce do Al?
Sure.
Someone's going to pick this up later and say, Joyce, do Al. All right, finance and
Health officer.
health officer. Ooh, you or I?
Which one are you doing?
I'm going to do the chief, or,
Health officer's easy. I can knock
Gail.
that one out in a few minutes. She does a great job. She's a wonderful woman.
You wouldn't have
Just
thought so
don't
today.
make her mad.
sometimes she stinks when she comes to the office.
Well, if you've been working in the barn.
God, I had to, I felt I wanted to go
No,
in
she
the
slipped
shower.
through it, remember?
I stepped in it.
No, yeah, that's right.
The
left my
smell of
shoes
New
outside.
Hampshire, there's nothing wrong with that.
When you do these reviews, you fill these out? Each-
Yes.
I mean,
Each one.
Whoever's assigned fills this out
And then we come back to the Board of Selectmen, and then we add, delete, or change if we choose to.
before we talk to the employee?
Before we talk to the person.
And then, when is it determined the amount of raises, if any?
When we sit with the Board of Selectmen, and that's when we...
And then we all
We
go
should
over
sit
as a
with,
group?
we should sit with the department head as well.
Right, we'll set a meeting just for evaluations and nothing else. Last year, I think we did 2 or 3.
At least 2.
Yeah, that we just do that at night, and it's evaluations only, and we meet with the person, and we meet first, determine with the department head, their recommendation, they'll do their own department employees, so someone has to do Dennis, someone has to do Arthur. So, okay, what do you want to do?
Left out Gail.
I was going to do Gail.
Okay.
Well, that, we don't, yours is the 9th, July 9th, correct? We agreed with her,
Yeah, we agree with that.
the review, right. All right, so Pat is Gail and the chief, unless someone opposes to that.
Cindy will do Kim.
Cindy will do Kim. So we have Dennis. Heather.
Arthur.
Arthur.
So Arthur will do Dennis?
Dennis can do Arthur.
I think that's probably unfair.
So Joe, you're
Be
doing
interesting.
Catherine, right?
Yeah.
You're doing,
Catherine and Tim.
Somebody needs to do Heather.
Let me
I
do
can-
Heather's.
Yeah,
Let me do Heather's.
okay, you want to do Heather's?
Yeah.
All right, Joe will do Heather's. All right, so Arthur and Dennis, do you want, last year we had Joyce do them.
Who's doing Joyce? Are you?
No, who is doing Joyce?
We have Joyce doing Al, but we don't have anybody doing Joyce.
No, you are.
I am?
You
Oh, yeah,
was the
town admin, I'm sorry. I didn't write a name there.
Man, I
I'm
thought
sorry.
this for sure we did that.
Her job title?
Yep. I wrote her jobs.
So Joyce, Catherine is doing Joyce, Joe is doing Tim, Catherine's doing Dari, Joyce will do Al's, Joe's doing the health officer and Heather, and Cindy will do Kim, Pat will do Gail and the chief, and then we have Arthur and Dennis. Do you want Joyce to do them, or do you want one of us to do them?
I think one of us should do them.
Okay, who?
Joanna included in this?
No.
No.
She's an employee of the sewer commission.
I think Peter. As odd as that might sound at first, I think Peter.
Do you have time?
If you don't have time, that's one thing. I think
do
it might be
Arthur's.
a good exercise, because none of these reviews actually go out until the entire board is at a chance to rip and shred.
Sure.
So we can do that today, as a matter of fact. We can say, okay, we're going to do the reviews, we'll set up a time when we need the reviews done by, and then we'll have a meeting to say, here's the review, what do you think about it? We'll make 5 copies of our reviews, and we'll give them to you, and we have time to review them. We'll take 1 or 2 that night, review the reviews, and then if anybody wants to add or delete something to them, we can do that. And then the next meeting that we set up, we'll set it up with the department head, and at that time, that's when we determine yea or nay to a merit, and how much, okay? So, we need someone for, Catherine's doing Arthur.
Do you want to do Arthur? Do you feel like you could?
You know,
We're not sharing with you at all, is why I asked.
no,
No? Okay.
I'm not around during the day as
Okay.
much, so,
Okay.
you know, I see their reports, so I can add in or subtract
Yeah.
anything that at the meeting constructively, but for the day-to-day operations, you guys see a lot more of that, and that's,
Okay.
What are we reviewing Arthur on exactly? His skills as a mechanic, or his skills in his new position? Or a combination of both?
Combination of both.
Yeah,
Right.
because he's spent,
Dealing with the
Because he's been in
transition.
a new
More than-
position, and
He's
we're
been,
kind
what,
of, our eggs
7
are in that
months is-
basket right now, so
was
it
one
has to
position.
be,
well, I think these are enough generic that
Complete.
it would cover everything that he does.
That's right.
yes, yeah. That's what we tried to do with all of this talk about the
You'll
evaluation.
have for
Skills and
public
all.
work, are you going to do Dennis? Who's doing Dennis?
If I was going to do one, I'd do Arthur.
Well, I'll trade.
So you want to do Dennis?
You want to do Arthur, I'll do Dennis.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Even though I have minimal contact on some of your criteria.
Do you, okay, well,
But
Well,
I'll
you
get
can
it
start
going.
out
Yeah.
and then
you
we'll...
start out and work with Catherine on it, and- or me, or anybody. Ask any one of us, and we'll,
Now, for the public works, we have, they
We
have
can work it
different,
out.
they have different forms than what we just approved.
right.
And everybody's going to need a copy of last year's
Last year's
goals and objectives.
goals and objectives, but I don't think we have it.
Why do we
But
need
can.
last year's?
We want to see if they met their goals
They
and
meet their
objectives
goals
from
and
their
objectives.
last evaluation.
So
And also
we're going
help
to
to set
continue
new ones.
using 2 different forms. I thought the whole purpose of this was one
No,
size fits
Town
all.
hall, one size fits all. We had 3 different ones in town hall last year.
Why can't
So
we
we've
use this for
downsized.
public
We've had
works?
salaried, non-salaried, and then the health officer, we did something different.
The PD
Andy's
and
saying.
Public Works, those, their jobs are too definitive. You have, for example, in the police, you have patrolmen.
I wasn't thinking
Supervisors.
the chief necessarily.
In the highway department, you
The
have...
highway department.
Highway department, you have laborers, you have foremen, you have mechanic,
They have criteria that
you
they have to
have, and
set.
each one has a different criteria that they
Medical.
look for.
Performance, they have
But doesn't-
CDL ratings that they have to achieve,
Different questions.
certifications.
They have to be different. I mean,
Well,
all these,
kind of, if
these
you
are
look
all
at-
generic enough.
Yeah, but
That's what I thought.
that's the point, is
That I
there's,
think that these should be for
Could be for
at
everybody.
least Public Works. I can't
It
see.
could be, but you would still have to, how are you going to rate them on their actual, what they're doing for their
Right.
job? Did they get their certification? Did they update their CDL? Did
That's
they
right
get
here.
their,
monitors surroundings of facility to avoid accidents,
Performance
takes
goals.
appropriate action to correct workplace hazards, conducts periodic safety meetings, toolbox toolbox talks.
Yeah.
None of us use toolbox, well, I do occasionally.
Well, I mean, that's just a generic
don't
thing, because
think
I
they're
look
doing
at risk
toolbox
management.
talk.
Understands and follows
If
established
they are, there should be a
safety
record.
procedures and regulations, and
Yeah,
shall
it is.
apply
It's
to all
all record.
safety.
Communicates with
Of the
foremen to
toolbox
coordinate
talk?
daily
I wanna see
schedule
it.
and assignments.
Willingly
I've never
accepts
even
and
heard about
understands
toolbox
his
talk.
assigned duties and
It's a-
responsibilities, as
Great.
well
If
as
they're doing it yet.
addressing new
I
varied
just never heard about
assignments.
it.
Exact same thing.
It's like a weekly meeting. Should be like 10 or 15 minutes. You pick a topic of safety, discuss it.
Inspects equipment for mechanical problems and performs required daily maintenance.
Demonstrates effective level of
No, you have
information
to have that
retention, acceptable level
specifically.
of knowledge, skills, and methods and techniques based
You
on...
have to have that specifically for that, because that's the Public Works Director, for example. You have to have that specifically. You can't have that generically. Because if they get in a truck and they haven't done their daily maintenance on that truck, that's a fine.
Yes,
There's
but
also
that's part of-
language,
But, I mean,
I think
everybody...
if we go by a generic one, John,
By who?
I think there's a lot that they can fly under the radar if we do a generic evaluation on them. They have to be more specific, as the police does. They have to be more specific. They have uniforms. They have a standard operating practice that they have to abide by. And the same with the highway. There's a standard operating practice, the rules and regulations under CDL that they have to go by.
I think maybe next year, if we could look at getting this with
Combined with
all
this.
this, but some separate questions,
Or just highway.
just highway.
If it doesn't
Because some
apply,
of
say it
these do
doesn't
overlap,
apply.
but there are some that are specific.
operates heavy equipment properly and efficiently.
But, I
Here's,
mean,
you know,
Having one, and then if it doesn't apply, doesn't apply.
consistently wears proper uniform.
That would work. All right. So,
next year.
But next year, we could,
okay, let's,
we should do
That'll be
it
my
now
project.
for next year. Look at it now.
when is Parks Commission meeting on, is it the second?
Second Monday.
Second Monday.
All right, so June 8th is not good, because that's the second Monday. And that's the second Tuesday, and that's the second Wednesday, so that week is out. And then we have June 11th, the Selectmen's meeting. Because we have Parks, Planning, Budget, Selectmen.
Well, budget is at 7. If we met at 4:30, that would give us, what, 2.5 hours? Are you talking about evaluations? You give us 2.5 hours.
All right.
Isn't budget done at the Public Works Department? I think it might be next.
We can scoot down there and leave it quarter off and be down there at 7. So if June 10th, it's on a Wednesday, if we start at 4:30, we could start on some of the evaluations, which ones we have done, look at them, approve them or not approve them, and put them aside if we have. And then how about June 15th, it's a Monday?
So you were talking about the 10th firstly,
Yep.
Okay, so,
and then Monday?
Monday, the 15th, meeting with, having our second meeting and finishing up the evaluations.
June 15th, Monday, I mean, it's Conservation Commission.
It is. How about,
At 7, though,
how
right?
about Tuesday,
But
the
they meet at
6th?
7.
They meet at 7.
Okay. Because we can skip to the 16th on Tuesday.
And Catherine and I meet at 7, I believe.
Yeah, third Tuesday.
Okay.
Is it 7 or 6? Whatever, at 6 for zoning board on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
So it's 7, the conservation is at 7?
Yep,
So if
so
we
do-
met at 4:30 to 7,
Okay.
4:30 to 6:30?
on the
Okay.
15th?
No, we-
On the 15th. And then we could meet with the department head. Think we can have it done by the 17th? Finished up?
If we get if we send something out to the department heads tomorrow, telling them of these dates and deadlines,
Chief, do you think you can have your evaluations done by the 17th? And to us?
Well, they'd have to have them before, we'd have to have them on the 10th.
We would have to have yours on the 10th, and then we would meet with you on the 17th to go over them with you.
10th.
No?
Well, my school year ends, that's my last day of finals. I need grades in by Thursday.
Well, that's right,
The
you have to
18th.
grade those things, too.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't just give
We
them.
could go into
I could
the
do the stair method. Toss them down the stairs, the further they go, the more effort.
I like that. I never heard of those things. I went to Catholic school. So 17th is okay, or do you,
So the 15th and the 17th.
Not for Peter on the 17th,
not for Peter, okay.
but
Yeah,
we could jump
15th
in,
and 17th is going to hammer me because I'm in final exams.
we could go into the
those
next
days.
week.
So do you want to take out the 15th and 17th and go into the 22nd and 24th?
That week, I'm totally free.
22nd of Monday?
Yes.
Good.
So evaluations on the 22nd and the 24th.
Instead of the 10th and the
4:30.
15th.
The 10th we're going to have, and the 15th we're not. So we're going to meet
That's going to be the 22nd.
the 10th, the 22nd, and the 24th. The final would be with the department heads on the 24th. And at that point, we should know what's what. We'll have them come in at different times, right? Think we can do it?
I think we better plan on a long meeting on Wednesday, but yeah.
I think we can do it. If we start at 4:30
Monday.
and have the department heads, boom,
And
boom, boom.
Wednesday, right?
They should have their recommendations. We will have theoretically reviewed them. If we take them home and read them, we'll be that much more ahead of the game.
So the
We
10th,
have to discuss them in advance anyway, so we'll know, but
Email, Cindy.
I gotta, so that means I gotta get Gail in,
Heard it over the
and
weekend.
I'm gonna be gone. Gail and the chief.
I don't know if it's true or not.
All right.
After the 10th, which days?
I'll be in my hotel room doing it.
22nd and 24th.
Okay.
That there was,
Gail, you all set with the times?
Okay. Another police department came to evaluate it.
Great, I hope not,
4:30 on the 10th,
but soon we'll be able to ask that question.
4:30 on the 22nd and 4:30 on the 24th.
Chief, do you have a report for us?
What am I looking at? 4:30, okay.
Busy week.
Talk to myself not to do it.
No, that is true, and he did notify. It's all been in insurance was called and everything.
That was true? That really happened?
The day that Seth died.
Oh,
She pulled into the driveway over there. Yeah.
Ooh, stapled. A lot of action. Either that or it's going to a larger font for us that are getting sight impaired.
I think that's going to be the next directive. Whoa, 400.
Ooh, broke the 400 mark. Ooh.
What's ICAC? I forget.
ICAC,
Yeah, what is it?
Internet Crimes Against Children.
Oh, Internet. That's right.
I have a couple that I just got right before I came down, so I have them on mine, but I don't have them on those, but I'll read them off. It's just
Okay.
a couple of crime things.
Yeah.
So,
Joe, you ready? It's not going.
Just doesn't like.
You got it up high?
You want me to give
Don't
them?
touch those buttons, you know.
There you go.
Use this one.
What's an ICAC?
Internet crimes against children. Yeah, they had,
Make a date over the phone and
That's a crime?
well, no, these are,
really
yeah,
things. They meet
yeah,
the person, yeah.
they're tough cases. So they have 2 of those on their plate right now. So this week, just run down, 401 calls and 7 arrests. Obviously, we're starting to pick up traffic. It was a busy Memorial Day weekend and summer weather starting, so we're all kind of getting busier. Major crimes, detectives picked up a new sexual assault case today, and then they picked up a second ICAC, or sexual assault case, which involves children. And then they have 2 ongoing sales cases. And then, it's not on your notes, but I just got this at the end of the day. They picked up an employee theft case from K Jewelers, which is pretty significant. It's about $31,000 jewelry, so that'll be,
An employee stole
yes,
that amount of jewelry?
yeah, over a period of time, but obviously. So that'll be some indictments coming down
Where
for
at?
that case, K Jewelers. And,
They weren't gonna notice.
yeah, I know. Just to follow up on Philbrook, so that was a copper case. The house was vacant for a while, so they don't know the exact time or time period that it was taken. So they're working on that. Then this is another crime note that I just picked up just before I came down, is Patrol made an arrest for Manchester PD for an armed robbery suspect, and they arrested him on Hill Road last night. So that was a good arrest by Patrol. And
What was he doing on Hill Road?
I had an acquaintance there. And so they went and picked him up there last night. So he was transported down to Manchester PD for that armed robbery. Training, we don't have anything this week. We have a meeting at Laconia tomorrow for Bike Week coming up at 9 o'clock. The fleet 6B and C need AC units charged. They're just older cars. Mine, the steering's a little sluggish, and the cap said that he believes there's a recall for that steering arm. And 3B was checked for some pulling. It recently had an alignment, and one of the officers noticed it, so the captain took it over there today to just have it rechecked. And they didn't find anything, so he's monitoring that. And he couldn't get it to reoccur. Nothing in the building this week. Captain's just replacing some floodlights outside. Only expenditures, nothing this week. Coming up, the cap ordered those T-shirts that they use for police training, and the ones when we did the simunitions training, those type of things. They wear them at the range when they're rolling around in the dirt doing rifle training, that sort of thing. And we haven't done these for a couple years, so there were several officers that didn't have them. But we don't have that bill yet. Corporal Ashburn is still like...
Can I stop you for 1
Yep.
second? How are we doing on the uniforms as far as, is there a trend that they're putting in for uniforms on a regular basis? Or are they still depending on some were holding back because they really didn't need any this year, but next year they'll probably need it?
Yeah, they really do it kind of on an as-needed basis, and if they hold up longer, they wait longer.
They wait longer.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I do the same thing with mine.
Yeah.
You just know when they get to that point where it's like, okay, it's time, where after they come out of the dry cleaners, they still look bad, but, so they try to be conscious about that.
And that's when they ask you for them.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah,
allowed.
usually they'll come to the captain.
There's so much out of the contract each year that they have a uniform allowance and what they can get. I didn't know if Peter knew that, or John.
Yeah. And then I have, Corporal Ashburn has a appointment tomorrow. And Corporal Morrison was in today, and he looks great. And so
Terrific.
he
I saw
looks
him
awesome.
today.
And it's so
Absolutely
good
looks
having him
terrific.
around the
Yep.
building. Events this weekend, there's a pancake breakfast at Applebee's. You guys might have covered all of this already. Walk for Addiction, Sunday morning at 11. Lakes Region Torch Run will be June 3rd, coming by Tilton Town Hall. It's usually typically between 10:30 and 11, but that always depends on the time legs. So usually when it hits lows, I call Town Hall and give a heads up. So that would be coming next Wednesday. And then the annual New Hampshire Special Olympics Summer Games kickoff next weekend. That's June 5th. And they're doing a nighttime opening ceremony, so 7 to 8 o'clock at night. The Explorers will be doing the air conditioners for seniors tomorrow night. Rich has already been in touch with Gail for the list. And I also, last week, I think, a couple of board members asked on page 2 for a list of the Explorers going to the Cadet Academy. So I put their names there, just in case you know any. And so that would be June 20th to the 26th. And then last thing on my report is just, I was asking to be excused on the June 4th meeting for my son and I's birthday.
You shared the birthday?
Yeah, they're only a couple days apart. So what we do is we try to get
21st, yeah.
together between the two. He's the third. Yeah, he's the third and I'm the sixth, so like we always try to get together in the middle.
It's cute.
And so,
He turns 21, right,
yeah.
this year?
So you'll need the
Whoa.
4th and 5th off.
Wow. Do they have any kind of thing after they graduate from the Cadet Academy or something?
They do, there'll be a really nice.
They have a ceremony.
Yeah, it's a really nice ceremony. It
Might be nice if we...
Yeah,
When is
We
that, the
usually go to-
26th?
The 26th at about 3 o'clock.
Yep.
When is
And
that?
that's an approximate time. I'll have to I'll write myself a note to get a more detailed time on that. So it's
26th
always on a
June?
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I had written 4 o'clock, but you said 3?
That's the only day I don't
Between
have
3 and
anything
4.
planned.
Okay, I had 4 as well.
yeah, I seem to recall always getting there at 3, but I think by the time the ceremony gets underway, it's like 4, and by the time you leave, it's 5.
Will you save me a seat? Because I have an appointment in Concord, but I'll meet you there.
Okay.
So just save me
Yeah,
a seat
and it's
now.
right in Concord, so it's right at New Hampshire Technical Institute.
Okay. In the same place that we have the graduation, the office's graduation?
In that little room.
Everyone I've gone to has been in that little auditorium.
Yeah, and I think the Cadet Academy will be in there too, and I'll check on that as well.
Okay.
Actually, when I go back over there, if I get them in, I'll get a text and get the answer to that.
If you save me a seat, I'll be there.
I'm going to see what I can schedule for that, because
I think
I'd be driving through there right around then, so...
I think this is the most Explorers that I can recall that we've ever sent to the Cadet Academy in one time. So it's pretty neat. They live there for a week. They get them up. Sometimes it's 4 in the morning. Sometimes it's 3 in the morning. Sometimes 5. PT. They tip their beds up like they're in Marine boot camp. They yes sir, no sir.
That's rude.
But they're teaching them respect and discipline and all of that. And then,
Tip you out of your bed, and that teaches you respect?
That's anger management.
Yeah, it does.
no, I think what happens if they don't make they don't fold their corners just right, and they're out at doing PT, they might come back and their mattress might be on the floor if they didn't follow instructions.
Not with them in it.
No.
I get
Get
it.
into task.
Oh,
I
no.
thought you meant with them in it. Oh,
No.
that's different, I get that.
Do you pin the badges like the Marines do the medals?
Ouch.
Yeah. But it's a nice ceremony, it really is, so, and I'm sure they would be excited to see you guys there, so.
The,
One name I recognize.
if you, on the air conditioners, there are a couple, do you remember last year we had a problem with the small rubber plug in the back?
That they would leak
So we have to
water.
make sure that
Everyone has a plug.
I've ordered more, but they'll be in. So take the ones that don't need them first. Because somehow the seniors they get lost, they unplug it, drain it, or do something with it. They don't seem to come back with them.
Yeah, and I imagine we're getting
It's
calls
just,
already.
it's no bigger than, actually, it's half this size, the plug is. So it's only about that big.
They work good, though.
Yep.
And you can feel the difference like 5 minutes after they're running
Yep.
in their rooms. You know, when you go in some of those apartments, you get in there, they're like 100 degrees. They only
That's
have,
awful. It is awful.
yeah, some of them are on oxygen and,
And there is no legislation that requires a landlord to
yeah.
control the summer heat, and we know it's
Or
deadly.
even-
It kills people.
Even make sure windows are open, or,
Well, they only have one window in their bedroom in the back, and then the sliding glass windows in the front that overlook the asphalt parking lot.
But the management company now charges $30 a month for us to put an air conditioner in. They charge electricity for it
The tenant.
to the tenant, and they can't afford it, so some of them are using the old-fashioned fan with a bucket of ice in front of it. And that's what they're using. They can't afford
Didn't they
the,
start that right after we started?
Where you take the
Couldn't we-
hose around the fan and you have a bucket of ice water or the little fish pump?
In Arizona, they use swamp coolers.
Yeah.
Same principle. Couldn't we adopt a senior and have people help
we
pay for that?
we tried to ask that. We tried to initiate that, and the seniors
are they
don't take it.
$30 a month?
Yeah.
$30 for the summer
A little
months.
hefty,
Oh,
huh?
for the whole month?
For the whole
Each
summer.
month?
For July,
So
August,
$1 a
September.
day for AC.
Right,
For the whole summer.
for the whole summer. So we take
It costs me that much to
typically,
run one in my bedroom like that.
we typically do, take them out in October 1st. So it's July, June, July, August, September, sometimes, September 1st we take them out. Sometimes they'll ask for an extension of those that are on oxygen. If it's a hotter month, they'll pay for the extra. But, yeah, it's hefty. And we had 3 seniors last year that for 3 years paid 25, was it 20 or $25 that they paid, and then they went up $5 or $10. Right. I think they went up $5.
Didn't they start that fee when we started the program?
No, when I first put them in, there wasn't a fee.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, it was
Yeah, when
after.
we started
It was
the program.
supposed to be,
Oh.
but because we got them in there.
Right.
And then the
they
next
started-
year,
They
they
did.
started with the fee because it was more organized.
Right, because it was more organized and more people got them, and there was 14 people that weren't calling the fire department for help and medical assistance and so on and so forth. So then they went up on the, it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's really shameful. We've asked the Rotary to
Well, if
help
they
out with
start some
picnic
type
table
of,
for 'em.
collection or something like that, I think that would be a good idea. I'd be
I'd
more than
adopt one.
willing to.
We asked, we have, and people have said that they would be more than willing to contribute. It's the issue with the seniors. They don't want to accept it because it changes the values of, there's a formula that they use. You can speak more on that. It's what they use for medicine, what they use for rent, what they use for utilities, and then whatever's left over, whatever their income is versus that, they pay out.
All income that they get is looked at by HUD, but it's been explained to me, well, except, yeah, here's the difference. So those who are not getting an increase in income by getting a donation, when they pay for that fee, they get more of a reduced rate for their rent, theoretically. But if we increase somebody's income, it doesn't work the same way.
So even though they're on loan, they're not the person's air conditioner, they still don't accept it. They will not accept it, and they've increased. We fought it hard. We had the senior committees down there, we had the fire commissioners, we had health officers down there with us, and had all the management, the top punches in the management, and they just would not bend. Wouldn't bend for
I
them.
remember we did the window ones and then that got stopped
Yep.
because it blocked the window. So
And
then we
they didn't
had
have
to-
any egress. We had to go to the floor units. They couldn't afford the floor units. So we did put a note in the paper and said we needed this. Lowe's came up with 5 the first year, and then a few the next year. So there's, I think there's like 14 downstairs.
Total.
And we have some windows, air conditioners that are used downstairs for people that have
Other place.
other places that we will loan it out to them for the seniors, but anyway. All right,
Thank you.
It's frustrating.
thank you. I know, it's very frustrating. It's terrible. It's almost as bad as them stealing the furniture from them.
Those people are scumbags.
Wickets. Well, they're no different from down there charging them increased prices for us loaning them an air conditioner for a month.
That's up front. These people snuck around and stole the equipment at the senior center. They're scumbags.
So they-
Up-front scumbags and behind-the-scenes scumbags.
They stole the chairs, patio table.
And they started to steal the canopy that was nailed into the ground, anchored right into the ground. The nails were up, but something startled them and they were going to come back for it. And they never got back, because Emily went to put it down for the winds, and the
So we
nails
should-
were right out of the
What we should
ground.
do first thing, let's post signs on the building under video watch.
Oh, no, let's not.
I won't
have to.
vote
Let's-
to pay extra money.
Oh, let's
just
not and catch them.
Huh?
Let's not and catch them. That's what we, do you post it at Riverfront?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think you have to, don't you?
Oh, man.
Isn't that the law?
I hope not. Do we have to?
Yeah.
Public, yes.
Oh,
But if you post it, even if you don't have them, now they're going to think. Or you
But
you
you're
can also
posting
get
them
the
out
fake
front.
ones that just have the little red light flashing, so you don't know, is it a real camera or not?
I just want to catch them. That's all I want to do.
Sure.
Before someone else does.
Get a game camera?
Yeah.
I want to
Really
name his
fun?
name.
We already have cameras
As if
now.
you have an obvious fake camera and a hidden real camera.
Put the fake ones somewhere where they can steal it.
And me sitting in the butcher's
That's
waiting.
fun.
That'd really be,
You need a shotgun?
I'll get the tar.
no, I want one of those AKs.
Get the taser.
her, then.
I'm here to tell you
The
that
one with the
taser
fire,
thing is-
the one with the fire coming out of it.
Talk to Catherine.
I've shot one of those.
Just go and connect the
All right.
fence charger up to the
Is
metal
there anything-
furniture at night.
You put it
I've done that.
you put it about 12 inches above the ground,
Put insulator on the legs of the chairs and the furniture.
because then you get
Connect
tangled
the
up in
fence
it.
charger to it.
Better yet, just plug it into an outlet. 110.
Okay, any more business to come before us in a public meeting?
Yes. Whatever happened with Daniels Drive speed bump? Did we make a motion to
No.
require Public Works to put in 2 speed
we
bumps on
talked
Daniels
about it.
Drive?
We talked about it, but we didn't,
Make a motion to require the Public Works to install 2 speed bumps up along
Purchase and
Daniels
install.
Drive. Purchase and install, thank you.
Do we need 2?
I think 2 is best.
So, because
can I,
they go streaming up the hill,
do we have a second to
But
the
they have to
motion?
Second.
They have to slow for,
and then they bump over it,
They
and
don't.
then they can
no,
speed
to
around the
come to the other corner
and
over
speed
by
down the hill.
Kevin
When- Doesn't matter which way they go.
When we did Academy,
There's the
We did
when
problem.
we did Academy Street, didn't we have a
talked
public hearing?
Kevin LaChapelle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Should we have a public hearing on, for Daniel Drive?
yeah.
Okay.
And actually viewed cars like,
The motion was to
there's kids.
purchase and install 2 speed bumps.
Pending the outcome of the public hearing.
Thank you. Pending the outcome of the public hearing.
When we install them, can we do them at an angle? Because that way you're doing this when you fly over them as opposed to kabump.
So
You angle it.
when do you want the public hearing?
I like
It
that.
cannot be the 4th, the 18th or the 25th?
18th.
Yeah, let's do it soon.
Is that enough time to get a notice out tomorrow for a public hearing?
2 weeks.
All the residents on Daniel Drive?
Tim can use his,
Alert now.
system.
Well, for those that are
For
signed
those that
up.
are on it?
Oh.
Not
The
everybody's
more we
signed up.
use it, the more people will go, how'd you hear about that? The alert system. Oh, how do I get on it?
We can do that, we can use it,
Doesn't hurt to do
definitely,
it.
The more we
absolutely.
use it, the more people will get
How
on it.
much do they cost approximately?
3,000.
Each?
You want me to vote
Oh,
yes?
the
6
speed bump?
grand? Yeah.
Oh, no, it was 6, $650 each?
Okay.
Something like that. I thought he was asking Alert Tilton, that was
No,
$3,000.
no, we're back this, and I'll
I was
call the
watching
question.
gas, so I wasn't going to say anything.
I'll call the
It
question.
might have increased, so don't hold me to the 650.
Oh, well, 7, it's not 3,000.
All those in favor, the motion was to purchase and install 2 speed bumps on Daniel Drive, contingent upon the public hearing. All those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, no opposed, because everybody voted yes. Is that what you were going to say?
Motion to adjourn?
No.
Motion to enter into a non-public session?
As per RSA 91A:3,
Can't get a
personnel.
Second?
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Yes.
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 Joe? Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Premature again. And we're ready. I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to personnel issues permanently and as they pertain to public safety permanently.
Second. Roll call vote.
Yes?
Yes. Okay. We have a 10-year plan. Updated 10-year plan.
Since we moved the meeting a day early, they could only get out to year 8.
I don't know if my eyes can focus. Just have my 10-year plan.
There's 5 there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I left you out, but I got one for you. I'll make a copy of the other one for you.
Highland, Linden, Pine, High Street. Wasn't High Street done?
On the side, on the right-hand side of the paper, you will see the dates of the last time that they have been done.
Yeah, 2000. Oh, Bittern Lane, we came up with an agreement.
Oh, for the thing?
Yes.
Providing it goes through fully.
Yeah, they're gonna do the road.
In the way?
Road, drainage, and a sidewalk.
There you go. Good.
They're coming to us with a plan, a new updated plan.
Well, one of the things with the sidewalk was more of
Not a curb line, it was a
Painted
off the
stripe.
shoulder.
just
Yeah.
off the shoulder paved, so it's all flat, so you can
Sure.
plow the
Yeah.
whole thing at once.
Yep.
You like that one better,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
easier for you guys to,
Right, yeah, yeah.
That's going to be 6
Okay,
feet
good.
wide instead of 5, too.
So Manville is the drain, that's what you're gonna fix on there? We,
Paving with it.
Paving with it,
24 feet?
yep.
With the information that we have received with the survey on Manville, are you still proposing to go forward with running a line down the side of the road and then cross over into the Tioga Swamp? Or would you consider using the existing drain? Now that we know the existing drain is on our property?
It's on our property.
Across the street, where
I know, yeah, I know.
egress is
I know.
across the street. That's
Yeah,
ours.
right.
We have a survey now.
But it doesn't discharge anyway, it stays on that property.
I have no idea what the elevations are. If you could, if there's enough pitch, you and I
There isn't, Catherine, we went through that.
it seemed like it was down far enough that,
Yeah.
So if there's not enough pitch,
so your
Where do you
original
gonna-
plan to run down the road and then cross?
come down the road further and then cross over?
Chop down some pine trees.
It's the only way that's the only way you can do it.
I think
We're
all
gonna
of
have
them
to
should
take
come
out
down.
some pines.
And that actually would help that road, because we've always had a problem with shade
Culvert down in.
holding the snow to it, have we not?
Yeah.
The
I don't
ice?
mind if all of them go, because they really cause more damage to the road than they do not, because, I mean, the trees and stuff, the pine, it just keeps them wet all the time, keeps the
Also
road
shaded.
Yeah, but
shaded.
there's a lot of pine trees, and
There's a
those
lot.
aren't
There's
cheap
no-
to take down.
There's no sun there at all, and it's a no salt dry.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Whose trees are there? Are they?
Ours.
They're ours.
The town of Tilton's.
They're in our right of
They
way.
may not have been planted by the town of Tilton.
What do you think they'll cost to have down?
Don't they have lumber value or anything? or-
You'd have to cut
Pine.
them about 4 feet up, because I
They're
think at
pole
one point
pines.
there was a barbed wire fence. If you look at one of the old ones they cut, and it's up high.
They're pole pines.
I would say from where the existing culvert
Chips.
is, catch basin on that side, you've got probably 10, 12?
How many feet you going? Because the pines are about
There's like,
8 feet apart.
8 to 10 feet apart.
What was it? I'd have to look back to see what I had measured out. It's at least a couple hundred feet. So, yeah. When you take them down, it's all crane work.
Timber.
now what about an estimate for the PD? Did you get one?
Feller buncher, grab a whole snippet and then just lay them down. We took
Those
them
are
out.
awful big trees for that, I think.
The feller bunchers take.
Yeah, they
take
will,
them down.
yeah.
If we did the whole row,
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be any, chipping them as an option to
Possibly, yeah.
reduce cost.
Yeah, yeah. Check both places and see what it is, yeah. What, Catherine?
Dad asked.
What,
Did you get an estimate for the PD parking?
we
lot?
have one.
Yeah,
We have called 3 people.
yeah.
We asked them to get them to us for Thursday, and here it is Wednesday. Right,
Okay,
right.
so next week, yeah, okay.
That's River Road.
I don't see the municipal lot here, that's why I was asking.
They're here, right under Manville Road.
No, for the PD,
Outside in there.
that's what
There
I
is
said.
documentation, I've seen it, where the selectmen laid out the sidewalk in Lockmere along Silver Lake Road. So where one of the residences declined to allow the state to put the sidewalk in,
I know what you're talking about.
the town could, when you do, I see you have River Road on here, could choose to put the sidewalk in.
I've spoken with that
that an
individual, and they are more than willing to allow the sidewalk. And he's sorry that he didn't allow it to begin with.
I know that as well, but the point is, there was always a question of
Is what it
who
is now.
laid out that sidewalk, the state or the town, and it was in fact the town of Tilton.
So we could put that back?
We could put that in, and Tommy has indicated to me that
Yeah.
he's more than glad to put it in. but it's
Amenable
just
to that.
We should know
Yeah.
that we have that right of way, we own the right of way.
Right,
It's prescriptive.
yeah.
Well, as a person who walks on that sidewalk, I would appreciate not having to make a detour out in the road.
He feels bad every time somebody does.
Yeah, especially kids riding their bikes and stuff like that.
It does. It does.
You ride your bikes on those sidewalks?
If I was riding a bike,
Downtown.
they do ride in there.
All right, this is a good start.
Oftentimes.
And this is a start for a 10-year,
Work in progress?
yes, but every year,
It'll deviate from
See
it.
a little white
it's
out
gonna
here.
be updated.
What are you doing this year?
Right there. Birch Drive.
Look right there, the 2015.
Well, I saw Birch Drive, but is that the only one?
No,
Okay, so what are you doing this year?
Ridge,
Ridge?
Westwood, Birch.
Okay.
So,
We have enough money. We have enough crew to do it. Or we will have, right, with the foreman. Takes us,
No. This is road you're talking.
yeah, but isn't it all hands on deck for those things? It was for
This is all-
Academy Street.
This is all bid out, Joe.
Okay.
All bid. Was out to bid to 3 roads. Yep,
Somebody
street
count,
sidewalk, both sides?
look on that sheet, please. Sidewalk sheet.
I am at sidewalk. School Street,
It's on page 4, I would think.
school north to Academy Street.
There you go.
Okay, so is that both sides?
I only get 3 pages.
Okay.
I assume it is.
No, it is not.
School Street South on School Street to Main Street.
Right.
You gotta get your
School
compass
Street
out.
North side of Route 3 Main Street to Railroad Track.
Then what is
I
number,
want you the smartphone, it'll put the compass up for you.
well, I didn't really understand what Academy Street South on School Street to Main Street, where the one before just said school north to Academy Street. Why doesn't that say Academy Street South to Main, to, you know, to say the same thing if we're doing the same opposite sides?
Right.
But thank you for the clarification.
Okay.
My timetable Mabel's gonna be a big job.
What's that?
Timetable Mabel to Tilton Island,
I'm
Under feet.
missing the sidewalk
Does anybody walk on
It's
that
on a
side?
separate
No,
sheet.
really.
that I
occasionally.
don't have.
Yeah, I guess they do.
Or is this the
You can
That
sidewalk?
little
Kinda-
strip.
You can kind of get there because you walk across people's driveways for a while.
Yeah, that's
Kind
true.
of hit us up.
I'll be okay.
That little strip of sidewalk.
Very nice.
Chrissy?
Great.
I get
She
it.
was commenting how it's going to be a real tough job. It's that one little strip.
Like I said, I don't-
Facetious.
I don't understand.
Being facetious.
Oh, okay.
What is XH and XC?
Last page, that will determine, tell you what it is, the definition. X8 is
Oh, look at
highway.
that. Hot mix overlay. So you're just gonna put asphalt on top of the existing? You're not gonna do any granite curb work?
Nope.
Why not? You have trip hazards out there with the granite curbing in some
What are you
places,
talking, oh, out here?
in several areas around town. I know, because I've watched people drive over them.
We, you know, we really don't have manpower and equipment to do that, okay?
Well, then maybe we should think of subbing it out.
Yeah, that's fine, I agree.
We have a hump out here in the corner of the building, I'm not sure what it is.
That was for the drainage off the pipe.
No, this was before, it was there before we put the new drainage in. It's just above it.
This is gonna get dug up, okay? And towards the asphalt, but back down.
And I don't know much about asphalt. I don't know if that's something you just put stuff on top of it and
Not black and nasty.
everything's good to go. Or do you have to take it up and
And what
tend to the
was,
base?
what was the determination on the handicap ramp? What were we
See,
going
how
to
do
do
you
with
know?
that?
It's all cracked
Figure
and
that
everything
out.
like that.
Yeah.
Take the
for
asphalt up,
for the
two inches of
pavement.
asphalt,
So like
grade
in
to,
front
that
of
would-
grade to gravel, roll it.
this section, kind of from the
I don't know
steps
what-
over
I
and
know we
up,
talked about
it's
it.
cracked.
Let's see if we can lift that up.
You're gonna have a problem out here. Big problem. Okay,
Why?
The handicap ramp?
curb line is about 2 inch and a half above the asphalt. When you do your asphalt, you should be flush with the curb line.
That's why I asked
Could
if you're
pitch
gonna
it towards
reset
the
it.
building?
What's that?
That would pitch it towards the building?
No, you want to
No,
pitch
the
it
curb
off.
line, the curb line is about 1.5 to 2 inches up
Yeah.
from the existing sidewalk that is
Yeah.
there. You've got to pitch it away from the building.
Yeah.
To get the water to run. Correct?
Yeah.
You don't want the curb to be a dam.
So you're gonna have to cut the ramp some?
Granite curb.
They're going to do something with the ramp, because it's
Can't.
definitely not going back the same way it is now.
Would have to be maybe about this much cut off the,
You can't. You really can't cut much out of that. Gonna have to be
Then you're not going to
rebuilt.
have your
Right, you're gonna have to rebuild
the
it.
rise, yeah,
So you
exactly.
just alter the
well, you'd have the
legs.
same rise if you,
Alter the legs,
No,
because the
no.
pitch is gonna be off.
Right.
why would you change the
The
leg?
pitch is not compliant with ADA,
You're
trust me.
right, but it's gonna be worse if you
All you'd
lower
have to
it.
do is shoot your grade now, and then when you have your existing, you alter that ramp, whether you have to shorten legs or put new legs on and make them longer to make it work.
But there's no legs on the ramp.
What the hell holds it up?
There's the 2x12.
2x12s on the
2x12s
side.
underneath.
So you
How-
change that.
If you got the ramp
Tell me
coming
it
down
can't
like
be done.
this,
Right.
now you got the, in order
raise-
to do it, you're gonna be raising that, so you just cut these back. You cut this,
And
no,
actually,
it's
if you
math,
raise
right?
it,
If you raise that bottom...
You're gonna
isn't
soften the
that
grade.
flattening the pitch?
yes,
Well, you
you're
could,
softening the
It'll
pitch.
work in your favor.
That's
yeah,
right.
and just adjust the angle.
You're gonna
You can
soften the
be
pitch.
flatter Than what they say. You just can't be steeper.
Yeah.
I
Sounds
thought it
easy,
was
right?
ADA compliant.
Oh, no.
No, it's
Heck
not.
no, it's not long enough. Nope.
We knew that.
But if we're raising it up a little
You'd
bit,
have to move the bulkhead and
it's,
take up half the sidewalk.
you have to take it out completely in order to pave it. Oh, this is gonna be,
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right,
Okay.
we all set with Dr. and Dennis?
job.
Yep.
Take it out, put it back.
My
Is that-
apologies for you guys having to wait around.
Yeah, it's been a long night. Thank you for the 10-year plan. We're all set with that.
When are you gonna start, your stuff this summer, sidewalks or, don't know. Depends on when we get the new guy, right?
Yeah, we gotta have some help, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
You're doing today's
You're
job.
doing-
you know, we get,
Well, I
like,
could come over and lean
you
on
get
a
2 days of
shovel,
mowing.
but that's
Run a wheelbarrow.
2 days of mowing next week, today and tomorrow.
If we get some rain,
it's raining as we speak.
Want me to help you
And if you want
with the mowing?
to, yeah.
All right.
Is the mower back at the ball field?
we'll have to ask.
Is the mower back at the ball field?
Push mower.
Is the mower back at the ball field? The mower that is used to mow the ball field.
As a matter of fact, it is.
I thank you. And thank you for servicing it.
One question, when is the billing gonna take effect?
Now,
As soon as we can get the addresses switched over and whatever.
It'll take some time.
as soon as Tim gets the notice.
Okay?
It'll be casual, but soon.
But if you have ideas, you need to work with him.
The only problem I see is designating it to the right line item that it's supposed to go in.
Well, that'd be you guys.
Talk to Tim.
Yeah.
Work it out.
Make 'em-
Now,
Question,
All right, go ahead.
what are you looking for next Thursday night?
I'm not looking for anything because I'm not going to be here. The week after, we're going to be looking for names.
Well, you're only going to be gone one night, right? So you could bring in your list for Thursday night. And we can all review them and then come together the following Thursday.
Okay.
No decisions, no conversation.
so we're looking at a month from now, maybe.
2 weeks.
Well, wow,
Wait,
3
2 weeks
weeks.
before we even talk about it.
then whoever you select,
2 weeks notice.
he's gotta give a notice.
Unless you
Now
want
we're
to come
beginning
in
June
before then.
1st of July. Short all month.
We just went through that schedule. It was tough to,
Way of hiring a temp.
It's a skilled position. It's not like it's a broom sweep.
back
You
there.
could subcontract Paul Rushlow to do mowing.
Is he available?
I don't know, might be. If we
I'm
meet-
not here,
If we
but
meet
I'm
one day
here.
next week, it isn't going to make any difference because you're not here on Thursday. So if we meet one day to just get them and review them,
Well, I'm here
since they haven't
Monday and
made the
Tuesday.
decision.
If you're here Monday and Tuesday,
I'm here, I leave Thursday morning.
okay? Then I would say what, Arthur, have them give us a day to go over them, tomorrow. By tomorrow, we should have 3 quotes on the paving of the police station. We can present those at the same time next week. Yeah. The salary range will scare you on most of it.
So, what is your plan now? You're gonna,
We'll review them tomorrow. Arthur and I come up with the best 3.
yeah,
Out of those 3, or the others that are not in the 3 count, we will notify them that they weren't in the selected 3. Okay? Then we will present the 3 to you people, okay? 3 or 4, okay? To review
on Thursday?
tomorrow or following Thursday.
Tomorrow, Thursday, the 4th.
Next week, okay? Okay? Then you can review them. In the following week after the 4th, maybe bring them in on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever. Review with them, okay? Have up-to-date references. Select a person. Do a background check.
Confusing.
You know, it's gonna come down to, the only time it's gonna be is during the day, like 3:30 in the afternoon, when the meeting is gonna be, because it's gonna be 3:30 to 5 that we interview, because
John can't be here.
John can't be here.
What day are
And
you
maybe
talking about?
Peter either.
Yeah.
Peter's not gonna be able
Is
to
it?
be here, because that's finals week. It's the 8th because you have Parks Commission, the 9th you have the Planning Board. Oh, and the 9th we have, the 9th is the chief, and then the 10th we have a selectman at 4:30 and budget at 7, and then the 11th. So it's we'll have to back it up to be out of here by Parks Commission meeting, which means, well, one of us are not gonna be here to make that decision.
Can we meet on Friday?
So
I hate to use the F word,
So
but
what
can we
if
meet on Friday?
you're going to have them to
On Friday
review and
when?
look at.
Day after tomorrow.
We're going to interview them.
I can do Friday. Early, I think
Friday?
I can. This Friday? Not this Friday, no.
No, they,
So then that sets it off a whole nother week.
yeah.
So again, I'm back to Monday. If you have them to review and look at, you can send us questions and you could be here. Why couldn't we set them? We're going to do one every half hour, right? And there's only 3? So if
Yep.
we started at 4 to 4:30, 4:30 to 5.
There was actually right now,
5 to 6:30.
and we haven't made a selection,
Half an
but there
hour.
was
Monday?
4 fairly good
I'll be
ones.
in Needham till, I don't know, 2:30-ish.
John can't be here till 4:30, quarter
I'll
5.
be
I might be
around
able to-
John's time probably. Just,
If I get into work, if I get up at
4:30?
4:30 to go to work,
might make 4:30, I'm not
I
sure.
can do...
So
I might-
4:30?
I could
To 5,
maybe pull off
5:30?
at 3:30.
5 to 5:30 and 5:30 to 6.
I think a half an hour is strong.
I do too.
I don't think you'll last.
We found
So
we
what
had
day?
about 5 or 10 minutes, Monday.
Do it Monday. fine.
Monday the 8th?
4:30.
Monday the 8th or Monday the 1st?
And let's do it Monday the 1st.
First is next
All
week.
right, so Monday the 1st,
Since putting this up.
Selectmen's meeting.
That work better for you?
4:30, I'm going to be here, so,
No, Peter?
Peter, 4:30?
Yeah, when I can, yeah.
Is that the day you're gonna be south?
That's when I'm in Needham, but if I'm out of night.
And what time do you propose starting again?
Do you want to do 4:30 or you want to do
I
5?
thought we weren't,
What?
I thought we weren't gonna get them until that day.
All right. So when are we going to get the
On
evaluations?
the 4th, you said, right?
You just said
I'm
tomorrow.
gonna review them and come up tomorrow.
Okay,
We can give them to you Friday,
okay.
right?
Okay.
Right.
So Monday, we can have the meeting, this Monday,
At 4:30.
at the June 1st, we can have a meeting at 4:30.
Yeah. 2,
To
Interview
interview
them.
your top choices.
okay?
And then we're going to pick one from there.
Now, they're gonna have to be notified tomorrow.
That's correct,
If
yeah.
we're gonna be doing a Monday.
So we'll do one at 4:30, one at 5, and one at 5:30. And then we'll choose right after that which one we want
And make them an offer.
and make them an offer.
Yeah. And we'll give you the names and the times of the people that
Right.
we have set the times up with.
Who's calling them?
Do we have any salary requirements that they were asking for yet?
Not salary.
Or wage,
Yes.
pay?
So that'll
What
be
they're
with
looking
your
for.
recommendations, right? That information?
That'll be part of the information we
That will be
receive.
part of the information you receive, that's correct.
All right. So that's a plan. All right. And then that way, we'll be hiring them by June 1st, and then they get 2 weeks' notice if they have to. Then mid-June, you'll have them. That's easier.
But you have to do a background check, I don't know how long that takes.
Doesn't take long.
We have a police department, so.
Okay.
Do?
And
We
that's
do.
all we're gonna do
The chief.
on Monday night, June 1st.
That's it. It's all it is.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. So it's a non-public,
Person.
well, it's,
We did the other non-public.
yeah, it's non-public personnel, highway. All right? And that's all we're going to do Monday night. You can make it Monday night, you can make it Monday night. We're going to interview, we're going to ask them some questions, and then we're going to talk to you and say, well, this is who we feel is the best one. I know this is the one you feel is the best one.
And
We
what?
might agree.
I doubt that.
Well, we
Yeah.
got two professional public works guys here. Have to take your opinion into consideration.
I think the two professional public works guys should listen to directives from the Board of Selectmen in the future. Just saying.
That's $1.
No, we have to 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right, $5.
Catherine, did you say something?
$5.
Hello?
We need
You're on tape.
some enforcement.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm not gonna say it, you asshole.